Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about being punched in the face as a woman in New York City. So there's been a couple of women recently, but this is not a new thing. This has been happening for, it looks like a bit. Like random women have now come out and talked about their stories about being punched in the face previously while they lived in New York or when they first moved to New York. And a lot of them were looking down at their phones when not all of them, but most of them were looking down at their phones, like sending an email, sending a quick text or something. And a guy just comes up to them and punches them in the face, like sucker punches them.
Literally just got punched in the face by a homeless man. Like literally walking to the gym. Okay, I'm not even kidding. Today, a homeless man, 50 years old, just absolutely slugged me in the face. Like punched me so hard. I'm bruised on the side. They ended up calling an ambulance when the police came. Literally, as soon as they came, they were like, "Do you want to get in the back of the car and go try to find this guy?" They like threw on their sirens. We ran around all of Soho. It was actually kind of fun. Yeah. And like, again, there wasn't like major bruising, but they insisted that we get like an ambulance for the report. So we did. These guys were freaking awesome. They're drawing penises all over their sketch pad. Lesson out there is be safe. Don't look at your phone. Because I was just looking to log into the gym before I got there. But like, listen to the street noise, enjoy it. But like, don't wear headphones and don't look down. Like, be up, have your head aware, because had I seen him kind of coming at me, I probably could have dodged it because it's happened before. But yeah.
So she hasn't, well, this I downloaded last night. So I don't know if she's put out part 2, but as of last night, she had not put out part 2. I am now following her on TikTok so I can get part 2. Feel free to follow her as well. But I hate that we live in a day and age where as women, we have to constantly be cognizant about our surroundings because violence is so prevalent toward us. And it really baffles me whenever women come out and talk about their experience with something and how it affected them afterwards. And then there's always men in the comments. But the thing is, we should be able to look at our phone when we're out in public. It shouldn't be a thing that we get punched in the face because we're looking at our phone. Let's say you bump into somebody while you're on your phone. Still not a reason to punch some woman in the face. Maybe say, hey, watch where you're going. Yell at her. That's fine. I'm a big fan, not necessarily of yelling, but I'm a big fan of being firm with somebody if they're doing something wrong in public, because you need to tell them, hey, you're doing something wrong. I try to be nice about it, but I found that you kind of have to bring out the Karen a little bit to get your point across sometimes because people don't want to listen to you. Anyway, now this one is a 2-part series and it is not recent, I believe, but I still wanted to go through it because I thought it was interesting.
With me while I tell you guys the story of how I got punched my first week living in New York City. I cannot believe I haven't told this story yet because it's like a big part of like my life, I feel like, at this point. And everybody who knows me, I feel like, knows this story. I was a freshman in college. I went to the New School. It's a school in New York City. I'm from San Francisco, so I'm kind of used to living in a city, I feel like. Cities don't really like intimidate me. It's not like I'm coming from a small town to a big city and I'm super nervous. Not that you would be, but I lived in 15th Street between 1st and 2nd Avenue, and my school was on 14th Street and 5th Ave. So you had to pass Union Square to get to class every single day. Union Square is definitely not my favorite part of the city, if I'm just being honest, especially now after this story I'm about to tell you. So I had an 8 a.m. class. It was my writing class. And it wasn't even at the main building on 14th and 5th Ave. It was a little bit like farther down. It was on 12th in between 5th and 6th Avenue. But I needed to annotate this paper before I went to my 8 a.m. because I had been out partying probably the night before. I was a good girl, good student. At 6 a.m. I left my dorm and walked to the big building of the New School, which is on 14th and 5th Avenue. I'm with my friend, also my roommate in the same writing class was probably out with me the night before. So we both went to the library and we're like, we're gonna get stuff done. At this point, I didn't wear contacts yet, so I like really couldn't see that well. So when I would look at things,
I totally get doing that because I did most of my schoolwork and college work like at the last like final moments I could, right? Had enough time to get it all done, but just. I am that person. But I did get A, so there's that.
I'd always have to squint because I just couldn't see. And we were passing Union Square Park and I saw this big commotion in the park. Like somebody, I didn't know what it was, but it was just a big, so my nosy ass squints and I see that it's a man who was sleeping there. Now, Union Square and Washington Square Park, and I think a lot of the parks in New York close from like dusk to dawn. But all they do to close it is like put some random barricades up. You can easily climb over them. Not that I have. So the fact that this guy was sleeping there was like not really a surprise to me. I'm like, okay, cool. Like I've seen that a lot. So I don't really think anything of me squinting at him, and I just keep going. I feel this like presence behind me. So I look behind me and sure enough, this man that was in the park is now maybe 20 feet behind me, coming out of the park and what looks like following me, but I've had so many people walk behind me and I'm like, oh, I'm scared, are they following me? They're not following me, but it's always like a fear in the back of your head, like, are they coming for me? What's going on? He was staring straight at me, but I also, again, can't see, so I didn't.
Yeah, and that's a very real thing for a lot of women. I am the survivor of domestic violence, and I think we're more like, we tend to be more paranoid about that. I know I do, and I have like thought I've been followed before, and I wasn't. But the thing is, as I feel like we always have to heed that warning just in case it's true, because if we constantly like say, oh, it's not true, and then the one time it is, we get M-worded or R-worded or whatever, or, you know, tortured or something.
Again, squint at him to see if he's staring at me because that's what got me in trouble in the first place, I thought. So as we continue down 14th Street, walking west, he starts to get closer and closer so I can see him a lot better. And he is walking in the most creepy way ever. Let me try to imitate it. He has one hand down, kind of limping, and he's like coming like this at me, but just like staring at me. Also, he's like 6'3" and big. He's huge, so I can see him. That's why when he made the commotion in the park, I could really see him because he was so big. I also have pink hair at this point. I don't know if that made me more noticeable than the friend I was with. So every time I looked behind me, this man is just closer and closer to me, and I'm trying to speed up, but I also don't want it to seem noticeable that I'm trying to get away from him, because what if he's not following me and I'm just going crazy? Classic, like, girl trying to justify something. And when he's about 10 feet behind me, I spot a Subway sandwich. Mind you, it is 6:20, I think, at this point in the morning, so nothing is open. So I go into the Subway sandwich. There's about 3 people eating a Subway sandwich in there. Why the hell they're eating a Subway sandwich at 6:30 in the morning, that's their own problem. I can't answer that question for them, but I saw 3 men and there was 2 men behind the counter, and I said, okay, there's people here. So I told my friend, let's go in the Subway sandwich. I don't feel safe. Again, it was like 6:20 in the morning. Nobody was on the streets either. And my school was just enough distance away that I was like, I can't run there. And everybody makes fun of me for saying Subway sandwich, but the first time I told this story, somebody thought I ran into the Subway platform, and they're like, that was the stupidest thing. So that's why I say Subway sandwich. So at this point, the man was so close behind me that by the time I got to the front of the Subway sandwich, the man was already inside of the Subway. So I knew I wasn't crazy. I knew he was following me because sure enough, there he was. So I quickly whisper to the Subway sandwich front desk employee, and I say, I think this man is following me. I need your help. Please help me. And he looked at me like I had just told him the fucking world was gonna end tomorrow. He had like no idea what to do. He was just like, didn't say anything, and I didn't have enough time to wait for him to respond.
I find that kind of, I don't think harrowing is the right word, but it might be insidious. I don't know. It feels just so like insane that you're like, hey, I need your help as like another human being. Not even that she's a woman versus a man. She's just another human being. And she's like, hey, I need help. And he's like just sitting there gobsmacked and won't actually help her. I do find that weird. So I think we need to be better as people that are bystander to this kind of stuff, that we help people. I know it could put us in danger if we do that, but the thing is, we're helping people stay safe. And by letting people just fend for themselves, that means no one's going to help us when we're in need. So you got to think about that thing. It's like, what would I want someone to do in that situation? Like, it gets worse, and it's like, guy, call 911. That's what I would have done immediately. Someone's like, I think this guy's following me. I'm scared. I need help. And he's like, I don't know. What the hell is that?
So I go to one of the men that's sitting at the Subway sandwich, eating a sandwich at 6:20 in the morning. Why? We don't know. And I stand behind him. He packs up his sandwich, gets out of there. Okay, I have 2 more. I go to the other man, stand behind him. He packs up his sandwich and leaves. Goldilocks here. Go to the third one. Hey, standing behind you, this man is fucking creepy, like, help me. Packs up his sandwich, leaves. So now I'm pinned up against the wall, and this man comes in and he's right in front of me, and he is, again, over 6 feet tall, and I am 5'6.5". So he looks at me.
I do love that she's like, and a half. Because I'm 5'1" and a half. And it's important. It's important if you are short. And I wouldn't consider 5'6" short, but to some people that might seem short. 5'1" is much shorter. But still, I thought that was just kind of adorable. Now, I want to say that I am going off the premise that this story is true. It may not be, but I'm going off the premise that this story is true. That she's sharing a story about herself and about what happened to her and her friend. You do what you want to do, whether you believe her or not, because I can see people in the comments like, I don't know if this is even true, because people love proof of things, but sometimes there's just no proof. I really hate that the first man, that after she went to the other guy, the first man she went to, opted out, like just packed up his shit and left. He's like, no, I'm not intervening here. I'm going to be complicit. And that was a carrying on theme for a while.
He says, let's take this outside. I said, take this outside? I don't really want to go outside with you. Also, at this point, my friend is next to me and she's like, why isn't he coming after me? He only wants you? We didn't know why he wanted just me, but we assume it's because of my pink hair. So the man proceeds to spit in my face and is screaming at me and says, take it outside, take it outside. And I'm like, at this point, so fucking scared. I don't know what to do. I look at the Subway sandwich man. He is doing nothing, literally nothing. Didn't have a phone in his hand to call 911, nothing. So for about 2 minutes, this man is like right above me, this close to my face, spitting on me, and nobody's helping me. And so I'm like,
but I do have a problem with, did her or her friend just not have a cell phone? Because if I was her friend also didn't call the police, and I would have, if I was her friend, I'd be like, hey, we need help here. Maybe, I don't know, but you would think someone would call the police at this point. But yeah, that didn't happen. Not for a while.
Maybe I will go outside because at least I can fucking run. So against everybody's advice, I went outside and I tried to run. And before I could run, this man pushed me up against the Subway sandwich window and punched me in the face. And I lost these 2 teeth. Punched me to the ground. Come out of the Subway sandwich. He looks at me, throws me up against the glass, punches me. I'm on the ground, disoriented. My friend at this point is running across the street because she sees a man like a block down and she's trying to scream at him to come help. I look to my right in this like haze of like, what the fuck just happened? Mouth bleeding, no teeth, and I see this woman coming down the street going to the CrossFit on 14th and 3rd Avenue, right by Union Square. She is beefed out. And I'm like, help, help, help. She starts running, but I don't think I can fit it in here. So sorry, but come back for a part 2. Part 2 of me telling you guys the story of how I got punched in New York City my first week living here. So if you watch part 1, you know. At this point, I'm on the ground. I see the CrossFit girl coming after me. And I say, help, help, help. She starts running toward me. Bless this girl's heart. And she comes running up to the man. Before she can even get there, he swings at her, knocks her to the ground. So she's down, I'm down. My friend is across the street trying to yell at this man to come over and help us. And the man starts coming back towards me. And I'm like, absolutely not. So I'm crawling. And I yelled at the CrossFit girl. I said, get up, let's go. And we run away and we run to my school. Now my delusional ass was like, oh, I don't think I'm gonna like call the cops. Like, I don't really know what to do. I made sure CrossFit girl was okay. I'm also like an A+ student. And so I said, you know what, I'm just gonna go finish my work and then I'll kind of think of what I need to do. So I went up to the library. I printed out the paper that I needed to annotate for class at 8 a.m. I sat there and started annotating it like I was supposed to do. At this point, I'm like, okay, class is starting in like maybe 25 minutes.
This is the only real part of the story that I have issues with, because you got your teeth punched out, like over here, right? Yeah. You would have a massive bruise on your face, like within probably an hour, half hour. You would be in pain. You'd be in a lot of pain. So, like I said, I'm not saying that her story isn't true, but I've had teeth issues my entire life. And let me tell you, mouth pain, there's almost nothing worse than mouth pain. But yeah, maybe she's just that much of a trooper. I don't know. And maybe they broke in such a way it didn't hurt her, and then she had to get them fixed later. Tell me what you think about the thoughts in the comments down below.
I think 30 minutes. So I look outside because I don't really know what's happened. And from the school, you can see the Subway sandwich. I was like, are the cops there? Like, what happened? I didn't really follow up, whatever. Look outside. I see the man who punched me. No cops next to him, no nothing. He is on the street looking up at me in the library. And the thing with our school is that it's been called like the ant farm. Like, you can see people in it. It literally looks like an ant farm. So he probably saw me like march my little ass up to the library. And now I wouldn't be that scared, which I know is so stupid, except for the fact that I had to walk from 14th and 5th Ave, that building, outside down to 12th Ave in between 5th and 6th Avenue. And I said, if he's staring at me now, he's gonna watch me go down there and he's gonna meet up with me again when I go to walk to my class. I don't wanna be punched again. So that is when I went to the front desk people, the security people at my school, and I said, hi, like, I was just punched outside, actually. I was like, I don't really know what to do, but he's out there looking at me right now. They call the cops, and the cops show up, and are like, what happened? I explained to them the story. My good friend who was with me the whole time is still with me, and we're just kind of talking about it. Like, let's go see if we can find this man. And I'm like, okay, he was just outside a second ago. He's nowhere to be found now. Probably heard those sirens and marched, his little ass out of Dodge. So they're like, you can get in our car and we can try to find him, just like drive around the neighborhood. I said, that's perfect. Okay, so we got in the car, we're looking around, we're driving, we can't find him, and they're about to drop me back off. And then we passed the Whole Foods, which is right across the street from the Union Square where I first interacted with him, maybe like a block and a half away from where he punched me and this CrossFit girl. And I look at the Whole Foods and there he is, standing right in front. This like 6'4", huge beefed out man. I'm like, that's him. They're like, are you sure? I said, absolutely. And they drive me and drop me off at class. I go to class, which I know is fucking nuts. After class, they are like, okay, you can like come down to the courthouse and we can like file or whatever. So I kind of did that, but I was like, I didn't really know. And then essentially it ended because they were like, cases like this don't usually get traction. Cases like this don't usually like get anything. The best you're gonna get from this situation is this man going to jail for 2 nights and then being released to the street, because we don't have the resources or the time or the space to house people who just punched somebody, as awful as that sounds. So I don't really know what happened. I didn't end up pressing charges just because it felt like more work than would do good. Got my tooth replaced. New York beats you down, sometimes literally, and you just gotta get back up. And that was a very, very, very good analysis of that on my first week living in New York.
Yeah, I mean, that would be pretty scary for just anybody to go through. Yeah, I have no doubt that they told her that this isn't worth pursuing. I mean, they have lots of other things to go after. This next one is like a 5-part TikTok. So we're going to see this in multiple parts.
Guys, I was literally just walking and a man came up and punched me in the face. Oh my God, it hurts so bad. I can't even talk. Literally, I fell to the ground and now this giant goose egg is forming and I'm like, Oh my god, it looks so crazy. I just want to give an update on getting punched in the face. I said I was done fucking crying on the internet, and here I am. But yeah, I am going to the hospital. I feel like I'm probably, oh my god, it looks like I have a fucking devil horn. Honestly, that's kind of fitting. Anyway, yeah, I was just walking on the sidewalk and my head was down. I was like looking at my phone, just sending an email, but there was so much room on the sidewalk and like literally nobody was around. And I guess this man, I don't know if he punched me or if he owed me. I literally passed out. So I don't really remember, but I think he just was really mad that my head was down. He was walking a dog. So he took it upon himself to body check me and let me know to be conscious of my surroundings, which now I fucking will be. And then I fell to the ground and I like literally blacked out for a second, but then I got up and he was screaming at me, and I was just like scared, so I literally just ran away. And then I was like, wait, am I crazy? Like, what the fuck just happened? And then I was like, oh, okay, cool. But yeah, I'm going to just urgent care. That's probably so fucking drama. I could put some frozen peas on it and be fine, but everybody's like, go to urgent care. And since I did black out for a second, maybe just in case I have a concussion or something, I don't know. We'll see.
I would have to say that if you ever find yourself in that situation where you got punched and you have this giant goose egg on your head somewhere, if you have the ability to see a doctor, doesn't bankrupt you, because this is America, then you should do it. You should always get checked out. Always err on the side of caution, because honestly, there are some head injuries that they don't need that much force to mess you up in a bigger way. So, yeah, make sure you're getting checked out if you have the means to do so. I do recognize that millions of Americans do not have access to healthcare and cannot afford to pay for it. I get that. I see you. I hear you. But if you do have the ability, always get checked out.
Guys, first of all, I wanted to say thank you all for the nice comments and the concern. I did go to urgent care. I had them check me out. I iced my head for like an hour. The swelling is like pretty much gone. It looks like there's a tiny bruise forming. Hopefully a lot of it's back here in my hairline, so I'm hoping you won't be able to see a bruise too bad, because I have places to be, people to see, things to do. Okay, like I don't need a giant bruise on my head. The doctor told me that I seem okay, just to watch out for signs of vomiting or like vision loss, which you guys, I think I'm completely fine. I really do think I'm okay. I do have a very bad migraine and it just obviously is like throbbing right here, but I am gonna be okay. I think I will make a speedy recovery. Also, I know my hair looks like shit. Okay, I just got out of the shower. Please don't judge. I came home and I was like, you know what? After that trauma, I just need to like wash all of it off of me and I need a shower. I did call the police and report what happened. They just came to my apartment and they took down all the information, and I guess a detective is going to get in contact with me. It sounds like it matched a story of one that they had already had. So I think that a girl that had seen it happen, because this girl had followed after me and was like, are you okay? And I was like so scared. I was just running away. So sorry to that girl. But I think that she had called the police and also made a report, because this was like not the first time they were hearing that story, it sounded like. So that is good. Hopefully they catch him. So I don't know if he, does this to a lot of women, or if this is a serial offense. I don't know the deal, okay? But hopefully he doesn't do that to anybody else. And yeah, I'll keep you guys updated with anything else. But for right now, I'm just going to take a little social media break off my phone. I say that and I'll probably be on TikTok the whole day, but like I'm really going to try to just chill out. Anyway, ladies, stay safe out there, okay? Stay alert. Just like maybe don't look at your phone when you're walking on the street. Learn from my lessons, okay? Anyway, love you guys.
And I really hate this is what it comes down to is don't be on your phone. You see tons of men that are on their phone, in public. And guess what they don't get? Sucker punched in the face, which I'm glad. I'm not, asking for people to start sucker punching men, because that would just be a bigger problem overall. But what I'm saying is men don't have these concerns. And I think to them, this seems ludicrous to them, I think, from their perspective. Yeah, I just don't like that we as women have to worry about if we are not constantly surveilling our surroundings where we could be in danger. And I think that's really just kind of sick that we have to be under, that's a lot of stress. And I know there's men out there that don't get it. I get it. I get that you don't get it, but I think you need to try harder to get it. And I applaud the woman who called the police, who gave a report from this other woman being hit. That's great. We need more of that in society. if more people were willing to take a stand, like, hey, that's not okay, that this man just randomly punched this woman, then the world would be a better place. It just would be.
I am gonna do my makeup while we talk about getting punched in the face, New York City, all that good stuff. So the video I posted yesterday about getting punched has 27 million views at the time of me filming this. I just wanna clear a couple things up because I feel like now I am the face of this narrative that New York City is really scary and dangerous. I am not here to argue that New York City can be really scary at times, but I have lived here for 6 years and I have never had anything even remotely similar happen to what happened to me yesterday. I think the TikTok algorithm yesterday really TikTok algorithmed, and it started pumping out a bunch of old videos from girls also saying that they got punched in the face. Also, side note, my head is looking a lot better. Ow. I'm just gonna contour over where I got hit. Ow. Dibs contour stick, can't even tell it's a little swollen, all good. Anyway, I think because people started searching girl getting punched in the face, all of the old videos that girls had made from months, weeks, years ago about getting punched in the face started getting on everyone's For You page because it was just a trending topic. And from listening to a lot of those girls' videos, it didn't really sound like it was the same person. I think it just might be a somewhat common thing that happens in big cities. But I don't want it to seem like 13 girls got punched in the face yesterday and oh my God, if you come to New York City, you're for sure gonna get punched in the face. Well, it's obviously really upsetting and disgusting that women have to deal with shit like this. I personally am not gonna revolve my life around that one incident and be afraid to walk around the streets, go to restaurants, live my life. I do think this serves as a good wake-up call just to be a little bit more aware of my surroundings, and that's not just in New York City, literally anywhere in the world. Like I said, I have spoken with the NYPD and they are looking into it. I am sure this is not on the top of their priority list as there are much worse things happening every single day here. But please don't cancel your trips to New York City. If it's always been your dream to move here, don't see that video and think, oh my God, it's so unsafe, I can't. Maybe this sounds crazy, but I'll probably stay in New York City for the rest of my life. Honestly, I feel getting punched in the face was like a rite of passage into becoming a real New Yorker. Kidding. But like I said, I've been here for 6 years and I really have always felt incredibly safe. And I've done some shit way dumber than looking down at my phone. Okay, I've gone home on the subway at 3 a.m. blackout drunk. I don't do that anymore. That was when I was 18 and really stupid going home from the club. But you know, I've done some shit here. Listen, it's not for everybody, okay? New York, she will humble you. She will beat the shit out of you, literally and metaphorically. But New York has given me every opportunity, every friendship, everything in my life that I'm grateful for. I can already see the comments. People are gonna be like, this is gonna be her whole personality now. No, it's not. Okay, this is probably gonna be my last video talking about this situation. Unless they do catch the guy, then I will give you guys an update. But yeah, that's my little spiel, okay? I love New York. You could never make me hate her. Ladies, we're not gonna live our life in fear, okay? But we are gonna be cautious. We are gonna be aware. Maybe let's go on Amazon. I'll get a little pepper spray, maybe a little taser. And that's it. Love you guys. Back to normal content.
And yeah, it's never a bad thing to have pepper spray, maybe a little taser. Now, some states it's illegal to have a taser, so get at your own risk. I know New York is one of those states.
Hi, girl who got punched in the face on Monday morning here. I know it's very shocking to believe that this is the same person, okay? He really caught me at a bad moment here. Anyway, I wasn't gonna talk about this situation again, but I do feel I have a responsibility to let the girlies of New York City know that the man who assaulted me has been arrested. This is him. The New York Post wrote a whole article about it. You can pause to read this or you can just search the article. The NYPD got surveillance footage from the stores where the scene of the crime happened. They called me in, they took statements from me, and he was arrested today. They were very on it and helpful, and obviously they arrested him very quickly, so I do highly encourage any of the girls who have also been assaulted, please make sure if this happens to you, report it to the police and try to remember as much detail as you possibly can, where it happened. If you can get a photo of them, that'd be amazing. I remembered barely anything and the police were still able to narrow it down. But yeah, that's the last and final update of this situation. Hopefully, girls out there, stay safe.
If you're accosted, report it. It's always a good idea to report it, even if nothing happens. It's better to build a case. I think of women that have gone to prison for killing their abusive husbands, where they didn't report it. And so they didn't have a case over time showing abuse, showing, pictures of abuse and stuff like that, like in their file. Then they go to prison for 10 years for killing their husband, but really their husband was there to kill them. And I am thinking of one story in particular that I think I want to make a video about, because I think it's just really interesting to, talk about that subject and what I think went wrong in that scenario and what I think would have been a better strategy for this woman to do. Anyway, it's rough, but yeah, take time into your day, go report it, do what you need to do because it's important. Because we want to get guys like that off the streets. The guys are just going to come up and sucker punch you. Maybe he was having some kind of crisis. Maybe he's having some kind of mental crisis. I ain't ruling that out. I don't know. I don't know this man. I don't know what's going on for him, but you know what? We get put under pressure so much in our lives that it does not surprise me when someone snaps and does something stupid like this. Like this guy punching this other woman, he's not a woman. This guy punching a woman, this random woman in the face. I don't know what was going on for him, but I think we should try to understand that, to understand why this man was violent towards this random woman, because that protects other women in society. That's the last one I'm going to do for this video. I do have other ones that I'll maybe put in a future video. Let me know if you want to see more of these stories about being attacked in New York City or in any city. I don't know. I think they're interesting, but thank you so much for watching. If you are new, please subscribe. I would love to have you, and have a great D-night weekend whenever you're watching.